Jerry Jones not ready to give Trey Lance a shot as Cowboys quarterback, why the backup QB still hasn't seen the field. Another disappointing loss at home on Monday night has left the Dallas Cowboys in an increasingly dire situation, with the playoffs all but mathematically out of reach. It's been a season of missed opportunities and underperformance for a team that started the year with Super Bowl aspirations. But amid all the struggles, there's one question that's been hanging in the air: why not give backup quarterback Trey Lance a shot? Despite the Cowboys' 3-7 record and the growing frustration among fans, team owner and general manager Jerry Jones isn't quite ready to take the plunge with Lance as the starter. After a rough 34-10 loss to the Houston Texans, a game where backup quarterback Cooper Rush started his second consecutive game in place of the injured Dak Prescott, Jones took to his weekly radio appearance to address the ongoing quarterback situation. Why not Trey Lance? Jerry Jones weighs in. When asked if it was time to give Trey Lance a chance, Jones was clear: not yet. Instead, he praised Cooper Rush for his performance in the loss to Houston, even though the team still came up short. Rush, who had been unimpressive in his first start of the season against the Philadelphia Eagles, showed slight improvement in the loss to the Texans. Rush completed 32 of 55 passes for 354 yards, adding 1 touchdown and 1 interception. But the Cowboys' offense still couldn't get anything going in the second half, leading to another double-digit loss. Jones acknowledged Rush's improvement but made it clear that the Cowboys were sticking with the experience they have in Rush. Here's how Jones responded when asked about the quarterback change. "I don't know that," Jones said on 105.3 The Fan. "I thought Rush actually had improvement last night from the game before. He didn't have far to go to get improvement. But I did think he had improvement." Jones emphasized that the Cowboys' primary focus is on getting wins and giving themselves a chance, which is why they'd stick with Rush for now, despite a lack of success. And frankly, there were times in that ballgame that I thought it was really coming to it. And we know that we've got limited time to work with these quarterbacks at this particular time. And I would look for us to stay with the experience. Head coach Mike McCarthy echoed Jones' comments, confirming that Rush would get the start against the Washington Commanders on Sunday, continuing to give the veteran another chance. Rush shows improvement, but Cowboys still struggling. In fairness to Rush, he did show some progress compared to his disastrous first start against the Eagles. In Week 10, Rush completed just 13 of 23 passes for a paltry 45 yards in the Cowboys' 34-6 loss to Philly. This was a game where Dallas offense failed to generate anything, with Rush unable to move the ball downfield. The Texans game, by contrast, was better statistically for Rush. He threw for more than 350 yards and found some rhythm in the offense. But, as has been the case all season, the result didn't change. The Cowboys still lost, and they've now dropped to 0-5 at home in 2023. But here's the kicker: despite a slight uptick in Rush's performance, the Cowboys are still on the outside looking in when it comes to playoff contention. With a 3-7 record and a defense that can't stop the run and an offense that can't run the ball effectively, it feels like the time to experiment is now. So why not give Trey Lance, the highly touted former number 3 overall pick, a shot at the starting job? Will Trey Lance ever get a shot? Lance, acquired from the San Francisco 49ers via trade in 2023, is currently buried on the Cowboys' depth chart. Despite being a former top draft pick and possessing undeniable physical talent, Lance has struggled to earn a spot ahead of Rush on the Cowboys' QB depth chart. Reportedly, Lance's struggles in practice with the 49ers have carried over to his time in Dallas, and he failed to unseat Rush as the backup during training camp. So, why trade for Lance if you're not even willing to give him a chance when your season is essentially over? When asked about the decision to acquire Lance and why they haven't yet given him a chance, Jones was defensive but still somewhat optimistic about Lance's progress. "No, we knew exactly where Trey Lance was when he left San Francisco," Jones said. "He was what? 4th, 5th pick in the draft? We knew he hadn't played much football." Jones acknowledged that Lance has made dramatic improvements since coming to Dallas. But ultimately, it's about the immediate need for wins, something the Cowboys simply haven't been able to do, especially with their current quarterback situation. He has improved dramatically. You've got to get out there and you've got to play. We have thought it was just too important for us to have him at rookie quarterback in these last 2 ball games, because we need to win to that degree and give ourselves every chance we can. In other words, the Cowboys' season is on life support, and Jones is not ready to gamble on Lance's development right now. The focus is still on winning games and doing whatever it takes to salvage the season, even if that means sticking with the more experienced, but less talented, Rush. But the real question is, how much longer can Jones justify this stance? The end of a Super Bowl dream. The Cowboys entered the season with Super Bowl aspirations. But at 3-7, it's clear those dreams are all but gone. The team's defense has been inconsistent. And the offense has been even worse, struggling to get anything going without Dak Prescott. With a losing record and no real chance of making a playoff push, it's fair to wonder if giving Trey Lance a shot is the best move at this point. Jones' reluctance to start Lance is understandable to an extent. There's no denying that the rookie quarterback's development is still a work in progress. But with a season that's essentially lost, why not take a look at what you have in Lance? What's the harm in letting him get some live reps, especially when Rush has proven to be a serviceable backup? But nothing more? As Jones himself pointed out, the Cowboys are still evaluating Lance. But they don't want to make any rash decisions while they're still mathematically fighting for relevance in the postseason. We have really worked with Trey. We have evaluated Trey. We'll see what the future brings here over the next few weeks. But I'm satisfied where we are. But the question remains, will Jerry Jones and the Cowboys ever be ready to fully commit to Trey Lance? Or will they continue to ride out a lost season with Cooper Rush at the helm? If the playoffs are truly out of the picture, isn't now the time to start preparing for the future? Conclusion, a question of timing. With the Cowboys' playoff hopes fading, the time for experimentation is now. Trey Lance represents the future. But the Cowboys are stuck with the present, Cooper Rush and a lost season. While Jones insists that Rush is still the best option for now, it's hard to ignore the feeling that the clock is ticking on both Rush's and Lance's time in Dallas. Will Lance ever get the chance to start for the Cowboys? It's unclear. But with each passing loss, the urgency to give him a shot grows. The season might be a lost cause. But for Lance, the future could be right around the corner, if Jones is ready to make that call.
Bears WR's talk Waldron firing. He was too nice. Well, the Chicago Bears offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, has been sent packing after just 9 games. And it's safe to say the offense wasn't exactly lighting up the scoreboard. The Bears have struggled big time, ranking near the bottom in nearly every offensive category. No touchdowns in the last 2 games. Bottom 3 in yards per play, third down conversions, and sacks allowed. It was clear things weren't working. So Waldron became the fall guy. On Wednesday, Bears wide receivers spoke out about Waldron's departure. And their words weren't exactly glowing. DJ Moore pointed out that the offense often made adjustments too late, waiting until halftime to fix problems that could have been addressed on the spot. It's like a drive too late. Moore said, "We wanted to make adjustments, but we just wait until halftime. And by then, it's not the same looks." Keenan Allen didn't mince words either, saying Waldron was too nice and failed to hold players accountable. "I think he kind of fell into a trap of letting things go, not holding people accountable," Allen said, and that led to a slippery slope. Reports throughout the season revealed that several players had raised concerns about Waldron, even meeting with the team's leadership council after a loss to the Colts. But despite the talks, nothing seemed to change. Head coach Matt Eberflus explained that the players were hungry for more productivity, more effectiveness, and more points, but unfortunately, it just wasn't happening fast enough. While firing Waldron won't magically fix all the Bears' problems, it seems the team was desperate for a change. Looks like they're hoping the next guy can help turn this ship around, before they end up at the bottom of the NFC North for good.